All right, ever since I got the car, it had some like CV axles popping. So see if I can get that on camera for y'all. Oh yeah, you heard it there. So we're going to go ahead and switch out these CV axles. Thankfully they came with the car, so that was really nice of the seller. What is good, everybody? I am doing vertical video, I know, but today, and don't worry about my hair, I look like a Super Saiyan afro. I have no clue what I got going on here, but anyways, what's good? Today I'm going to be doing CV axles on the Honda. So this is the new daily, so we have to get it up to par. This is what we're going to be knocking out today. Car came with CV axles, thankfully, so just got to throw them in. They're clicking, and everything else I'm going to need is right here. So let's get to it. One funny issue I'm having right now is the jack. It's a low profile jack, so when I throw it up on the ramp for the Subaru, at least it's easy to get the jack under. Bam, bam, bam. I can pop it up there, but the highest this goes is too high. The car's too high, especially at stock ride height. So I have to push this thing into the frame and lift it up with some wood there, so it's nice and level across the frame. But hey, I do what I gotta do. Let's get to it, man. All right, I think I got everything I'm gonna need for the job. I've got 13 up to 19 mil. I know I needed a 17, so I got some new sockets there. 32 for the axle nut. I know I need a rubber mallet to set it in place. Breaker bar, all this stuff should be pretty simple. I did, before doing this, I got under the car like a couple days ago, and I soaked everything in PB Blaster because I want nothing to be stuck or break. So I soaked it all in PB Blaster or whatever, all-purpose lubricant, whatever, PB Blaster, and I drove it around for a couple days just to get some vibrations going through to make sure that that liquid really gets into those bolts and penetrates that stuff. So hopefully we should have a good job here, hopefully, and hopefully everything matches, especially since they came with the car. So yeah, so fingers crossed. All right, so you can see everything's been saturated in PB Blaster. That's how it was. It was nice and dry, but I got everything sprayed on here, sat overnight. You can see that everything is nice, soaked, so should be pretty decent. I'm gonna first start off with taking the CV axle off. There's your CV axle. There's part of your problem of the click in there, if you can see. So most likely the clicking is probably coming from here. Not sure, but that does not look good there. So that's what we're going to be doing right now. So basically how this works is this bolt comes out, ball joint comes out, and we should be able to move everything out of the way. Sway bar link may have to come out too, but after that everything should kind of swing out of the way. Pop this out, get the new one, measure it, make sure it's good, make sure the splines are the same, pop it back in, put everything back together. I'm gonna just record me doing this side because the sun's out really good right now, and I live where it's kind of shaded. I have trees where I live, so the other side is basically the same. The CV axle's just a little bit longer. Basically, there's a 17 millimeter bolt here. There's a nut there, and on the other side there is a 17 millimeter bolt. So we're gonna take the impact and slowly back that off. So you have to hold and then impact. There we go. Look at that. Boom, baby. Okay. Now let's see if we can back this one out. Nope. So you're gonna take a rubber mallet, smack this out. Yeah, that's pretty good. We can't pull it, so I'm gonna take this little bolt here, and we're just gonna push it out with this little bolt. Ooh. There we go. And that bolt is out. This bolt, it has, as you can see, like little lines, so it barely turns. So it has to you basically pushed out. So this one just should come out. And there we go, cool. All right, so basically there's this bolt here. It does have a cotter pin, so I can't really do this while working, but basically you bend the cotter pin out, you're gonna pull it out with some like channel locks or vice grips. You're gonna put the socket, I'll find out what the socket is once I get the cotter pin off, and basically you're gonna impact that out, and then you should be able to take a breaker bar, not breaker bar, like a pry bar, and then separate these two, and then I will get the sway bar after that, or maybe I can go for it now, we'll see, whatever works. If it's not saturated correctly, it actually can get stuck. As you can see, there's like a little bitty hole here. That's where you put a Allen wrench or Allen key, so basically that will hold that bolt. But we're really just, I'm gonna just try and hit it with an impact. It's been saturated with the PB blaster, so we should be good, hopefully. But those are the next two points of attack. All right, so once you basically fold these, I like to take a little pry tool, get on there, start to pull it out, and I will, I don't know if you can see. Sorry, this is so hard to do while holding the camera. There we go. And you just keep on, and then boom, that pulls out. So the reason that's there is so that doesn't back out on you. So let's find out what size that is. So it's actually a 17 as well. So I'll take one hand, and so I love the impact. To get a regular or heavy type of hammer, and you actually want to hit like right here so it can vibrate it loose, because it's not moving right now. So if you can't, then you'll have to get a ball joint separator, and that's the whole thing. We're gonna figure it out though. You may be able to take a pry bar and pry in between here as well, but you don't want to cut that. So we'll do a mixture of the two, but I gotta use both of my hands now. Preferably a bigger hammer than this, but all right, you guys, I got the ball joint separated. Let me see if I can get that in here. All right, I want y'all to know the importance of having proper tools. I should have had a ball joint separator, but no, I was using this. No weight to it, no hit behind it. Rubber hammer had weight to it, but it's a rubber hammer. This was the difference. This has a lot more weight to it. This isn't even a big hammer, but it has more weight to it to put that force to separate. I wasted too long of a time, and I was like, let me go find a different hammer, and bam, it popped right off. Just, you have the proper tools before you do the job. Watch YouTube tutorials. That's why I'm making one now. Like, have the proper stuff. So basically, this is a 14 right here. You're gonna take a 14 with the breaker bar. I can't get my impact in there, so basically I'm gonna break this loose, and hopefully it comes out, and then I'll move that out of the way. All right, so it is spinning. It didn't come loose, but this is what I was telling you about. So you have to use an Allen wrench or Allen key. So you basically have to hold this while turning that. So that's what you got to do. I can't do it on camera because two hands, but basically that piece stays, this one spins, so that can back out. I have it basically wedged on the lower control arm, but basically here we go. So it holds it. Hopefully nothing bad happens here. Yep, of course, and it just stripped. All right, the other fix is to take vice grips. Like I said, you do risk messing up the boot. So let's see what happens. What happens to this? Let's see if it moves or if it stays. It's all moving. All right, so got it on with the vice grip. As you can see, it's almost done backing out now. But basically, that's what you got to do, man. I tried to do it at the top, kind of the same thing happened. So now either you can tighten them back on with vice grips, or you can just go purchase new ones. These ones look fairly new. I actually was able to move the boot out of the way, so I'm probably gonna just keep these on, to be honest. They still look new, they still function good. Unfortunately though, like I said, this is the way you have to do it. Some people I know, they will just cut these bad boys off and then drive over and go get new ones, because the sway bar you can actually drive without it, but obviously your car's gonna be swaying back and forth. That's what they're for. It's just slow patience, man. It sucks that that one bolt is stopping your whole, your whole job, but that's why you wake up bright and early and start. As everybody knows, you're gonna have parts that are rusted and corroded and stuff. So I spent the last like 30 minutes getting this off. Basically it was spinning on the inside, had to clamp on, slowly surely get that off. Need you a 32 millimeter axle nut. That bad boy's on there. There it is. Let's go. Where am I? All right, here we are. So basically CV axle's right there, and what you want to do is take a pry bar or something along that sort, and you want to get it right in there. You have to be careful because there's a seal. But basically you pry that out. So I'm gonna use two hands. I'm gonna pull on one side, pry on the other, and then there's a clip, should pop out, and then by gosh, I'll be done with that. So this is why I hate working on cars, man. So the CV axle's stuck. It's partially coming out, but it's stuck, and I can't hammer anymore. It's already hammered flush. I don't want to damage the splines. Don't have an air hammer. That would do the wonder right now, but as you can see, all I have to do is pull that out, but it's not. It's so annoying, man. Man, oh man, let me tell you. Seized axle. Finally got it down. Man, it has been a hassle. Let me tell you, back to what I said, have the right parts. If I had an air hammer, man, this would have been way easier, because it just went right through it. But I've got a socket now that's smaller than this diameter, so I don't mess up the splines, and we're just slowly hitting it out. The next and the last thing is to pop out the axle on that side from the transmission. I imagine it's going to be possibly the same. Basically, this is what I'm doing. Putting the socket in here. It's got plenty of room. Not hitting no splines. Getting that going. And there we go. Alright, it's out. I can feel that. And then, as you can see, I got the studs protected. Worst case scenario, I hit one of these, I get a new lug nut, whatever. But alright, let's see. Man, this is a hassle. Oh yes, came out awesome. Those splines look good, thankfully. So now we can move this bad boy out of the way, and I'll show you guys what I mean by how I blew that thing out. That's what she said. Alright, let's see here. Hopefully it just pulls out. Of course not. Okay. Be careful too. Don't just pull on it like I was. Damn. Wasn't even paying attention. Gonna have to get underneath, take a screwdriver or a pry bar, and pop it out, man. Damn. This thing is beating my ass. For sure. Alright. Yeah, I guess that bad boy pushed itself back in. Alright, but it's out now. Alright. So, once you get to this part, lift up, maneuver it underneath. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's out. Let's go. Alright, so next thing you do is you just check. You make sure the spines are the same. Make sure the length is the same. As you can see, I told you I blew that motherfucker out. I had to smack on that thing to get it, man. So do what you gotta do. So this piece is just a balance piece. It just, they added on. It's kind of like a tire weight, you know, or a wheel weight. I'm sorry, kind of like a wheel weight. It just balances it out. Obviously this one didn't need it. But you just make sure the clip's there. That's what locks it into the transmission. This one has a clip as well. So we all Gucci, man. Now, only thing is, just reverse the process. Now, since everything is unseized and whatnot, I can take that off. So right now is a really good time for me to go ahead and change some brakes. But you know what? I'm gonna hold off for right now. I'm gonna do these brakes later because it's taking way too long. We're gonna try and get this bad boy in. Same process. Make sure you don't mess up your splines or anything. So weirdly, we're gonna have to get this out of the way. It's gonna be the fun part. There we go. All right. So that's on there. Fish this thing through. All right. There is a seal that I'm trying to avoid hitting. Use a rubber hammer so you don't mess up your splines. Pretty sure I just heard it click. So I went under the car, checked it. It's seated nicely. There's no leaking or anything like that. So thankfully that's good. So the next step is to take your hub, brake assembly, whatever you want to call this. Take this. We're going to place the CV axle into these splines here. I had to get underneath and kind of move the brakes around. So pretty sure it's in there now. It's just a pain in the man. This really kicked my ass today. I have 32. Take you guys back under. We'll double check, make sure it didn't come out. Basically, you have to pull this down with a pry bar, basically. Lift this up. This is something you just can't do with the front of your hand. Then you have to line up the ball joint, get it back in there, and then you have to get the cowsel nut. Don't forget your cotter pin. Definitely gonna need the cotter pin. So I'm gonna hit this with the 17. Next thing you gotta do is this sway bar, and y'all know how that was. That was a pain in the behind too. Put the vice grips back on, tighten it back up, and then put this one bolt back through, and then this side will be done. Also, don't forget, once you get this torqued, you're gonna take a screwdriver and you're gonna bang that in there. That locks that in there. So hang tight, let me see if I can show you. I've got the cowsel nut in, got the cotter pin in. I like to use this little pick to separate them. There we go. And you just need to bend them. That way it can't back out. Vice grips on there, got that nice and tight. Redid the top. Last and next part is just getting this bolt in. I didn't show you it last time from this view. Basically, you're gonna line that up. It's got splines, just goes right in. We're gonna put the nut on the other side, torque it down, and then dudes and dudettes, we are done. Legitimately done. Ladies and gents, we are done. Love the, look at that, I gotta take a shower tonight. But basically, get the wheels back on, make sure everything's good. Once you lower it down, put it in gear, slowly back out, make sure everything's good, make sure there's no clicking, because if it's not sitting there right, it can get damaged. So I'm gonna double check it, make sure everything's good. But yeah, guys, that's it, man. Beat my ass, and I gotta do the other one too. So that one's for tomorrow. All right, we Gucci. Test drive was successful, but let me tell you, majority of my problem was from obviously rust, things that needed heat, just had to get some strength put behind it. And I need a garage. This driveway is great, but this gravel kicks my knees. My knees ain't like they used to, and I get weak. I ain't no weak, but I get weak because some of these things are just really hard to get loose, man. And then you got rocks poking all in you. Oh my gosh. Oh, but yeah, clean up and we'll check everything tomorrow. I'm gonna do another drive real quick, and I'd like to double check stuff just to be on the safe side. But yo, thank y'all for tuning in. Like, subscribe. I hope some of y'all got entertainment out of this. But yeah, I know there's many other ones on there, but you know, why not bring my own flavor to the table? You know what I mean? That's it though, guys. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.